When Disney refused to take a stand against the Don't Say Gay bill, people got angry. That's an understatement. CEO Bob Chapek finally relented after several protests and promised to suspend all political donations in Florida. They didn't do that nationally, only in the state of Florida, and to have a meeting with Governor DeSantis. Watch this.
And when you have companies that have made a fortune off being family friendly and catering to families and young kids, they should understand that parents of young kids do not want this injected into their kids' kindergarten classroom. They do not want their first graders to go and being told that they can choose an opposite gender. That is not appropriate for those kids. And so if you're family friendly, understand the parents who are actually raising families want to have their rights respected. And I also think that if you have companies like a Disney that are going to say and criticize parents' rights, they're going to criticize the fact that we don't want transgenderism in kindergarten and first grade classrooms, if that's the hill that they're going to die on, then how do they possibly explain lining their pockets with their relationship from the Communist Party of China? Because that's what they do, and they make a fortune, and they don't say a word about the really brutal practices that you see over there at the hands of the CCP. And so in Florida, our policy is going to be based on the best interest of Florida citizens, not on the musing of global corporations.
Well, thank you, Governor DeSantis. One of the most interesting things, by the way, I think of the video is of all the people that you saw standing with him in support of the words that he just did. Let me summarize all of the diversity you just saw. Old, white, old, white, and old. That's what you just watched, including Governor DeSantis. Our hot topic headline of the week: protest is proven to work. Work as in RuPaul, as Disney reverses its course on Don't Say Gay and much more. What do y'all think about what we have been watching with the Disney saga and story?
Can I just begin and say that about the video, that at least Trump pays people of color to stand behind him, DeSantis, you might want to do the same. I'm just going to put that out there, okay?
I just don't understand. Okay, so I'm taking a big risk at saying this, but kindergarten children, why is it even an issue to discuss gay, transgender, being straight, right? None of that was even an issue when I was in kindergarten.
That's how they're wording it, and it's not today.
And it's not today.
They're wording it that way.
Absolutely.
Our teachers teach. I mean, is this an issue? Our teachers teach.
It's a solution in search of a problem.
It's a solution in search of a problem. It was to establish a beachhead, to be able to say, we don't want any conversation about sexual identity or gender, ultimately an attack on trans, and we'll focus on some place where it doesn't exist anyway, which is kindergarten through third grade.
Correct.
We'll get the law passed, and the next legislative session in 23, now the doors will be blown off.
Yeah.
That's what we're watching.
And I love how, I don't love, but love how they're connecting it to anything else except talking about gay. He brought up China, and I would love to see his Amazon order history, because I'm pretty sure something in his house has come from China.
For sure.
They linked it to fentanyl, which may or may not have also come from China if the lieutenant governor was correct. Just pedophilia, grooming, so much stuff that doesn't even have anything to do with the bill, that also has nothing to do with children in school.
If you were the, I'm curious of what you think about this. If you're the chairman, if you're Chapek, the chairman of Disney, my goodness, by the way, who's had a worse job in America in the last 2 weeks, do you buy his response, his apology? We were here, we said, this is where we're at, we've contributed to these people that have created these horrible laws. Wait, that was a mistake. We'll stop that. We'll apologize to you. We'll escalate our response in terms of having this meeting with DeSantis. DeSantis attacks them as being woke and the #1 employer in the state of Florida. That was the equivalent for all of you older Midwesterners. That would be the equivalent in 1976 of the governor of Michigan attacking GM or Ford. That's
I
what
don't
just
think-
happened.
I don't think he would have apologized or, whatever, had there not been some kind of backlash.
I agree.
Like if nobody, if people just didn't say anything about it, I think he would have continued his support.
Yeah,
in
like I
this
feel like
bill.
we're being okay taking the crumbs, and we deserve a full plate. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
baby. You make a lot of money from the gays, a lot, and
Yeah.
and like Gabe had said before, you also are the biggest employer of a lot of LGBTQ plus people here in
Absolutely.
Florida. So I mean, it's like stand up for us. They even got a 100, they got a 100 on some kind of index a couple of years ago when it came to LGBTQ employees and how they were being treated and how they were being represented against discrimination. So they've come to bat for us. I didn't expect for them to drop the ball on this.
I feel like Bob is learning on the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting better, but I
do you
mean,
think,
it's not. We
do you
need
think he
more.
really feels genuine about what he's saying, or maybe he was?
Well, what do you?
Well, but he-
wait.
okay,
He asked
yeah.
a question. What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like there's maybe people behind him that, or maybe he was pro for it and he couldn't speak up about it before.
Even if that's true, why wouldn't that be good enough for us? So let's give him an off ramp. Okay, you screwed up royally, but we're going to give you an off ramp because you're saying and doing the right things now. Why isn't that good enough for you?
Because if it's not genuine, I don't want it. Does that make sense?
And there's
Yeah,
no
it
way to know
does.
if it's
Yeah.
genuine
It's
or
like-
not. You
there-
know,
there
Gabe
really
Gabe is
isn't.
saying, like, is
So-
he up against the wall? And now he's giving us something because he's up against the
Correct.
wall.
And when did he announce his reversal of position? After a
After.
shareholders meeting.
Yeah.
After a shareholders meeting. The answer to all questions is where's the money?
Where's the money?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's also interesting to me that Disney is in a situation in terms of their gigantic presence in entertainment and in Florida, what they could have done in this. He doesn't really start to come out until after the passage of the law. You know,
Where were you before?
yeah,
Exactly.
Like, when we
that's-
needed you for real.
That's
You know,
the
how
problem.
different things would be right now, Al, if they would have done that and said, like, hey, we're the biggest employer of LGBTQ. We're one of the biggest companies in all of Florida. We're going to stand behind.
And came out with the don't, like gay, 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 gay. Like they should have done that first.
but the question that is really fascinating to me now, everything that you're saying makes perfect sense, largely I think factual. But at the end of the day, we have Disney. Does anybody think Disney is a discriminatory organization?
No.
No.
Even with these mistakes, are they discriminatory?
No.
Okay, so they embrace LGBT. Do we think Disney is like Hobby Lobby?
No.
Do we think Disney is like Chick-fil-A?
No. Hate sandwich.
Do
No.
we think Disney is like Liberty University? So at the end of the day, if those answers are no, at what point does LGBT say, okay, we've knocked you down, which we have. Disney's been knocked down, which a month ago we would have said, that's impossible. We can't take an organization like Disney on. We have a foot at the president of Disney, we have a foot on his throat. At what point do we go, okay, we've proven our point, now we take the foot off his throat and make him an ally and give him an off-ramp to say, okay, here's where we go next.
Very true.
Why don't we do that?
Why don't we do more of that? It's a great question. I mean, a lot of us, think of Disney as honestly a safe place. I knew as a little girl, knowing that I was already gay and I wasn't out to my family, that when we went to Disney with my friends, I could be whoever I wanted to be. And I know gay boys that feel the same way about Disney, And so we've gotten hurt so much, boys, that like when you give us a little bit, we're afraid to take it and just take it on with joy.
Yeah.
But you're right. We should say, wow, you're trying. He's evolved already in his stance with the LGBTQ. We should give him a little bit of time.
Yeah,
right.
I'm just saying, I agree with you. I think the off-ramp is there. I'm just saying we can't forget the road that got us to the off-ramp. That's all I'm saying. Yes, now is the time to make him an ally. I'm just saying it would have meant a whole lot more on a Monday before the vote than on the Wednesday the day after the vote.
But here we are. But here we are.
Right.
Disney's still Disney. Do
Yeah.
we want to just cancel Disney and like not have gay days anymore? And
There's
not,
there's a lot of gay people, LGBT people, and advocates for LGBT that want to cancel Disney. There's
Yeah,
a lot
there
that
is.
want to.
And I can see that.
Yeah. Is that a strategy that ultimately works?
Then
No.
we can't have nice things. Then we lose Disney.
You like
Give them Hobby Lobby. I hate that place.
you like that Small World, do you? You can't miss Small World.
Teacups. I love all that stuff. I am that big person on the elephant. Yes, that's me.
Do you think, I want to focus a moment on this process of getting Disney to move to this point. we talk so much about what's the right thing to advocate, protest, move for change. Do you think the things of the Republicans very cleverly said, this is a bill to protect parental rights? That was a lie. Our response to it is we're going to over-exaggerate, don't say gay. That is not completely accurate. We all know it's not completely accurate. However, that phraseology created international headlines because it was a bullseye for every person, no matter what your IQ was, of understanding what that means. It's a new standard of advocacy and protest. Was that successful? Even though we lost, labeling it Don't Say Gay and how we've had protests, the schools have protests, Winter Park, Safe Schools, the banners, entertainers all over America and the world, et cetera, and so on. Were we successful in Don't Say Gay? What do you think?
I mean, yes and no. I mean,
What's the
in my
yes and what's the no?
yes, we mobilized some key parts of the community. No, because quite honestly, it came 6 months too early. If we could be writing this in September into a November election, the fact is we've got summer vacation. Well, we've got spring vacation. We've got summer vacations coming up, and a whole lot of other stuff that's going to steal the spotlight between now and then.
The reality, I went to 2 different Don't Say Gay rallies, and both of them probably had 200 to 250 people on it. That's not a lot of people.
Do you think the
actually not.
LGBTQ community here in South Florida, we watch it, do we care about this? We talk it. There's a percentage. To your point, 200 people are talking about it. More
Not
than
enough.
that.
I expected hundreds to be there.
There's 380,000 in estimates of LGBT in South Florida. Did you feel LGBT just turned out in droves on this subject?
No.
No.
Why? Because it doesn't really affect that sect of people, do you think?
I'm asking you. What do you think?
I mean,
Did you know about it? Did you go out and go to a rally or anything, or
did.
post anything?
Notice, understanding and knowing about it is a different standard than what are you going to do about it? Because at the end of the day, and I ask you this question, obviously, it's a leading question, because John's already hit it. We have an incredible vote coming in November. Incredible. Our governor, this insane person who's going to run for president, is going to run for re-election against Charlie Crist, likely. And we have a very talented black congresswoman that's going to run against our crazy Mark Rubio. And we have that, and we have House races and Senate races and other congressional races and school board races. And the LGBTQ community is going to be the turnout of delivering the 1% or the 2%, because that's how the election's going to be decided. And do we care about it?
But I think you have to understand that most gay people don't have children. So they probably just don't care what's being taught in schools because it doesn't really affect them.
You see a news story that says school and gay, you're like, whatever, it has nothing to do with me,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to give it too much mind.
yeah, but for me as a father and someone who's taught, it really does.
It's important.
It's important to me.
Yeah.
So.
A big week. We continue to watch Disney. I continue to, I have a thought bubble of going, can we find an off-ramp for Disney to go, okay, you did all of the wrong things. Okay, we told you all of the right things. Okay, now you've made changes. And how can we find common ground to make them even a greater ally for us? Because we know Hobby Lobbies and Chick-fil-A's are our enemy no matter what they do. They're our enemy. Disney is not. That's my only thought. All right, let's explore the LGBTQ plus world this week with the silly and important headlines in the LGBTQ news this week. It's a lightning round. We're going to go quick here, Gabe. You're used to quick. Let's discuss them.
Wow. I can't believe you
Wow, we just met today.
Who's really kicking it now, Al?
I just met Gabe.
I know, but your
right?
chair's already gotten closer to Gabe. That's when we started the show.
Right? Exactly. All right. Well, we're going to discuss these headlines, LGBTQ plus news that are in the headlines this week. And it's a lightning round, as I said. Let's discuss them in our segment called Saved by the Bell. All right, but there's a twist. We're only going to discuss each one of these headlines for just 1 minute. And at the end of the minute, we're going to hear, what are we going to hear, Gabe?
A bell.
Can you do that for me really hard? There we
You
go.
gotta touch your,
I just,
your belt. Sorry, it's different when you can't hear what you're saying. Like it totally comes out different. My bad.
okay, you're bad. All right.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I was distracted. What happens after a minute?
Oh, I know. Could you show me?
You're an
another
awful
time?
person.
How was that?
And Gabe, what car do you drive again?
What car do you drive?
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire